welcome back to the Lifeline Conference 2.0. I remain your host, Daniel Said Bowman, and today we are currently done with the first session. This is day one, and we are on our second session for today. Now, I'm joined by two wonderful people, two exceptional people that have shown their grit and character in the business world as small entrepreneurs, and now they're, doing so much for Africa as, a continent, and Nigeria particularly. They have fashioned their way in the digital marketing space. They have gone through, the test of being an entrepreneur. And we've brought them here today to pour from their wisdom and to, enlighten us more about how to scale our businesses. Now, we chose this particular topic because we feel very driven to help businesses, grow and find increase and success in whatever they're doing. So just before I introduce them, I just want to put just shed more light on the topic and the conversation we're going to be deliberating on today. This hopes to be a very interactive session, so please stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube space, and whatever platform you're joining in from, just put in the comment section there from what part of the country, part of the world you're joining in from. And always feel free to go back all through the past breakout sessions we've had and the sessions before this one. Now, while we're here and we're hoping to introduce our guest, I just first of all want to say that we are delighted to be able to bring the Lifeline Conference in its fullness to touch different areas in technology, in the digital creating space, in the work environment. And now we're talking about entrepreneurship and how to build. We've always been talking about sustainable businesses because we do not just want to start something that dies off, but we want consistency, we want continuity, and we want especially scalability. And so we're here today with two wonderful people that I'll be introducing real quick. But before I bring them on, I just want to say a few things about, the need to grow our businesses. Growth is the key, to success for any business owner, especially a business owner investing in time, energy, and resources, and sometimes we are confused with how to expand and how to grow, our reach and how to get our business to so many other people. So I'm here with two wonderful people that will be giving us, ways and how we could scale. And we're going to be asking really, provoking questions and having a very enlightening conversation that would help us understand better how to expand our businesses and how to prioritize rapid developmental, strategies over well thought planning, into this conversation. Now, with me here today is the founder of Eclat by BB, and let me bring her on. So we have with me here the brand doctor and Noah Adebo. So welcome, guys. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Donald. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Very well.
Yeah, I
Thank
hope you
you
can
for
hear me
the.
clearly.
Yes, we can hear you. Hi,
All right. So
everyone.
let
I
me
can
let
hear
me
you
first start.
loud and clear.
Great. Let me first of all start by introducing Miss Renoa, and she is. I met her early this year, sometime this year through a friend, and we got acquainted from there. We started moving on, and to be honest, we've had some really wonderful conversations since we started speaking, and we're here today to just expand some more into her wisdom in the digital marketing space. And also, she is the CEO of Eclat by BB, which is a shoe brand, and she's really doing well. I know they have plans to relaunch and to take over the whole of Lagos and then Nigeria. So looking forward to all the amazing things
Africa.
coming out. Yeah, Africa, globally. So
Yes.
yeah, and then also I have the brand doctor himself. I literally chased this guy down last month. I was hunting him down. Hey man, you need to be here because he's a very big inspiration to so many young people out there, and it's a blessing to have you here today. We have with me the
My
brand doctor,
pleasure.
Emeka Clinton. He is an award-winning, emphasis on award-winning business coach. All right, and a serial entrepreneur. He's a new media consultant, seasoned speaker. He's an author and founder of the Niger Brand Studio. So the whole of Lifeline Conference gives you guys a big welcome. Thank you for being here with us today, and let's get right into it. All right. So,
Okay.
so today we're talking about how to build profitable and scalable careers and businesses in Nigeria's present economy. Now, this is a very striking conversation because, yes, like I said, with every business, at one point, you want to expand, you want to build on, you want to improve. All right. So we're here today because we are trying to see how we could help people, forge their path and do better, and how they could grow their business from where they are now. So let's start with an opening, statement from the both of you. Let's go with Clinton, the brown doctor, and then Renewal will go next.
Okay. So thank you very much for having me, and it's quite an intriguing topic actually. So how to use scalable careers and businesses. So first of all, when you want to delve into building careers and businesses, there are two different things altogether. One is a business and then one is a career altogether. So a career could be a 9 to 5. It could be, let's say, a side hustle, whatever it is, that's a career. The business is what you have, what is your own, which you spend most of your time on, which you invest your time, your resources, and everything together. So I feel there are two different topics altogether: building a career and building a scalable business. So when you talk of building a career and building a scalable and profitable, emphasis on scalable and profitable business, so it has a lot to do with your business. So you could run a business that is not profitable. You could run a business that is profitable but not scalable. So being profitable entails you being able to gain profit from your business. Being scalable means your ability to both make profits and be able to scale that business into something bigger, right? So it has a lot to do with your business model. That's one, and it also has a lot to do with your niche. So we have a couple of niches that are not scalable. Let's say, for instance, niches like sorry, we have industries that are not really scalable, and this is because of it could be your environment where you find yourself in, or where you the platform on which your business exists, right? So let's say, for instance, you're planning to run, let's say, a delivery business in a secondary school or in a university, and you you intend to scale the business. You just launched the business, and your intention is to scale that business after, let's say, 3 to 4 years. Now, if you look at that environment closely, you will find out that it is mostly uh, habited by people who do not make money experientially. So students in university are more concerned about their studies, even though some of them, but not most of them, also run side courses. But then you will notice that people who are in schools, in universities, are not capable of or don't really earn. So if you want to run a logistics business in that kind of environment, you might find it a little bit difficult because you're faced with people who don't have a constant source of income. So for you to build that business in that location, for you to scale that business, you could make profits. You could get friends and clientele who are students who might need to deliver stuff all over the environment, the school. But for you to scale that business, it might not be very possible because you want to scale the business and reach to other areas. So you might need to move out from that location because that your current clientele or that the habitats of that location are not really don't have the enough earning capacity to keep keep patronizing you, right? So that is one aspect. So the aspect of running.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I think I lost you guys there. Let me know if you can hear me.
Is scalable.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think there's an issue with his network.
Yeah, I
Can you
think
hear
there's an
me?
issue. Yeah, we can hear you now. You're back on now. Yeah.
Okay,
So go on. Just from
okay.
the last
So
point you
I
were
was saying,
making. Yeah.
okay, so like I was saying, so building a scalable and profitable career is different from building a scalable and profitable business. The career could be your 9 to 5, or you could even convert your business to your career, right? But the things that really affect scaling a particular business or product is the environment, your potential clientele, your talents. That's those who work with you together to make sure that you make profits and you remain in business, and as well as your thinking, your mindset moving forward. So, with this, if you take this into consideration, into utmost consideration, you should be able to know where to move on, moving forward. But that is it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that opening statement. So let's go on to Renua. What do you have? What's your take on this conversation before we get heated on?
Okay. Um, I would like to emphasize that a scalable business is very different from a scalable career. Now, a scalable career is usually one that you're able to see exponential results within like a specified period of time. Basically, it's not a career that what's the word now, that directly pays you by the hour. Do you get? So what you're getting in return from the career is not primarily fixed, not directly proportional to the hours you're putting in. So that's the
Okay,
definition of a scalable career. While when you say you're building a scalable business, a scalable business is one that has the potential or has the capacity to expand within a short period of time or within a specified period of time. It's when you say that when you start a business, there is a life cycle of a business or a brand, as it were. So
yeah, sure.
if you're running a stable business, there is always room for growth. There's room for a lot of growth before you hit the ceiling in that particular sphere. But if your business is not scalable, it's just okay, you're doing only one part of the business, but there's nothing else to move forward. There are no other opportunities within that sphere. There are no like now, if we're speaking in product management terms, there are no other like features to add to your product. There's nothing else to make your business improve or grow. So that's basically the difference between a scalable career and a scalable business. So I'll be speaking from these two separate angles today.
All right. So, just before we go on, there's a review I thought an article I stumbled on by the Harvard Business Review that says, when somebody wants to scale a career, first of all, the question, how fulfilled am I? That's comes in play. When you talk about scaling anything, you first of all find that that person at that point is no longer fulfilled with their current position, and then you're looking to expand. So is it a lot about is it a lot about fulfillment when it comes to expansion, okay, or it comes to growing or scaling? Is it a lot about trying to fulfill you know that feeling about your business or your career, or is it just something that you feel now is the time for me to provide better value for my service? So I'm throwing that
Who would you
question to
like
you
to
then.
go first?
Yeah, I think you could go forward. You could go first, Benoit.
Oh, okay. So I would say that scaling a career in this case is not necessarily being reaching a benchmark of fulfillment, particularly in a place. So I would say that scaling a career is more about what's the word? It's more about positioning yourself as it were to be in demand across different industries or different spheres. So when your career is scalable, when it is seen as that or perceived as that, you're not limited to only one option rather. Basically you're able to pivot across different careers, different trajectories basically. So I think one key factor of having a scalable career is career adaptability, and also the
Okay.
ability to pivot and move across, like transfer your skills from one industry to the other. So that's what I would say regarding scalable career.
Awesome. So the brand doctor, right now we're talking about, day to day, month to month, year to year. When would I know that I'm in the right direction when it comes to, scaling my career? Since we're dealing about the career aspect now, How do I know I'm in the right direction?
Okay. So when is the right time to scale your career? So, so let me give an instance. You run a you run a business, or let's say, yes, you run a business, and you're also running a 9 to 5. So in
Yeah.
your business, you started, let's say, last 2 years. You started small, and right now you have over you attend to over 150 customers yearly, sorry, weekly, or 150 customers daily. And when you started last 2 months, you were just, sorry, last 2 years, I mean, you were having just one, two, three weekly, right, or daily. Now, so you run a 9 to 5, and then you run a business. So now you see that in your business, you you are now having more requests in your business. You are having more people who ask you about sorry, need your services. You get right now, but you still run a 9 to 5, and maybe you're a customer service person and all whatnot, right? So right now, your face will be the question: should I abandon my 9 to 5 and scale my career and now focus on my business, right? Or do I leave this business and levitate towards my emotions? So I don't, let not be as if I have now left my office people. Let me just remain and
Mm,
allow business to grow. So you're faced with this question:
mm,
what do you scale your career? Now, the answer is simple, but there are two sides to it. You could say,
mm,
okay, let me hire somebody who will handle my business, who will handle this business
mm,
while I focus on my career, right? Or let me leave my career and come and focus on my business. Now, the answer, what you should do here is could be affected by two things. Now you know that in your business, no one can carry your business, or no one can handle your business like you, because you have the passion, you have the
mm,
intensity, you have the drive. So hiring someone at this point who doesn't have that same eagerness, that same drive, that same vision that I have, will might make my business crumble. So you have no other option than to leave your work and gravitate towards your business. But then bear in mind that you shouldn't actually leave your business when leave your career, your 9 to 5 job, when your business is not yet profitable, because you don't want to abandon something that gives you income, focus on something else that doesn't give you income, except for some periods or for some situations whereby that industry which you are currently in has uh, the market market capacity to scale is there. Let's say an industry like you're building an you're building a software that solves a problem, right? So in this
mm,
situation, you know that it solves a problem, and if you stick for too long, it will work out. No one, you might not have that vision, but you might just have that feeling in you. But it should also go way beyond feeling. It should go down to statistics, data. You need to know that you have customers that will stick with you, or there's an already existing customer base that will keep uh, patronizing you, keep using your services. All you have to do is just to be innovative about what you do, right? So at this point, it's the best time to gravitate towards and scale your career. This is the answer to it, right? So you have to leave your career, or leave your 9 to 5 and focus on your business in a situation whereby you know that okay, it is profitable and it is growing. You can be able to realistically know that, so realistically compare when you started before and where you are right now, and then be able to know, okay, is this
mm,
thing really profitable? Is it scalable?
mm,
And you take
mm,
the next step. But what should guide your step, what should guide your decision should be one, your gut feeling about everything. Because people
mm,
downplay gut feelings a lot, right? But you need to have that gut feeling about if this business is really going to be profitable. But if secondly, you also need to think way beyond gut feelings. Gut feelings has a role to play, but you also need to look into data and statistics to know and be sure that this industry is scalable. And the only way of doing that is to look at past success stories, past brands. They look at go through research to know, okay, in this industry have I experienced have the past
Growth.
brands who
Yeah.
has who have succeeded in this industry, did they scale or they just had to fold up and go home? You get to this is what would guide your decision. But I always tell people that before you venture into something, you need to make sure you do your research very well, so you don't end up in something that you will now cry. You see, they will always frustrate you every time. They will always frustrate you. Lights, please never sleep. Oh, sorry, you are switching over here. So they will. You need to run research, right? You need to make sure that you you juxtapose different niches. Once you have an idea that you want to focus on, you want to move in, start with your research. Start to know, okay, is there a problem that I'm going to solve? And are there customers who are willing to actually come to me once I have that solution to their problem?
Awesome, awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. So, Renoa, let me get your take on that before we move.
So I think that sorry, your name is Clinton,
The brand
yes?
doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the brand
Clinton.
doctor. I think he has made it like a very good point. And I would also like to reemphasize on what he's saying. I believe that before you get to a point where you want to scale your business, you should have already data in hand about your
Mm,
business.
true,
So you
true.
have to sit down and also now check what's my customer retention, um what's the word now, what's the rate of my customer retention,
Yeah,
how
the
often do people
analysis.
come back exactly, then how do we get referrals, all these things. Basically you have to have them in hand before you now
Mm,
decide, okay, I want to scale my business. Then also I
awesome.
know there's a rather a dicey decision to make whether you should leave. If you're looking at the angle of, let's say I'm a 9 to 5 hour and I have a side business or like a business, whether you should leave that be your business, whether you should surrender your business or you should leave your 9 to 5. Now the question is, thankfully we're in a time where technology has made things a little bit easier. So are you leveraging on technology to help you scale your business? I think that's one area. If you can infuse technology into your um your side also, that could help you. Personally, that's what I'm
Mm,
doing now. So, and
mm,
I would say that most times for a scalable business, your business should be able to survive without you being at the forefront of everything. If your business cannot survive without you doing everything, then it's not your time to scale. So you should have
mm,
put effective business structures. You should have put effective business processes aligned that even if somebody joins your business today, they know what to do. And that is why I would also emphasize on business documentation. Have your processes. Let there be different SOPs for this process. This is what we do. You do this first, you do this first, you do this first. There should be check and balances, there should be quality control. Everything can be automated, but also have everything documented. That's what I would say regarding either leaving your 9 to 5 or starting a business. If you don't have this on ground for your business, then you're not ready to scale. You should have this. And data
true.
always speaks. Data always speaks. So
True.
thank you.
And just to add to that, when you talk about scalability, whether it's for your career or for your business, first of all, you also need to understand the resources that govern your need to scale. Scaling requires you to have a bigger budget now. You need to check the resources you have available at your disposal. Because people who talk about scaling, not just their business, but even their career now, it means you have to require, some sort of certifications and, expand your knowledge. I just talked about skills, before this session.
Mm,
You need to acquire more that would make you valuable in your industry, in your sector, because that's a very important thing. If you do not have the skills that people are, looking for, there's no way you're going to achieve any form of scalability. You're going to remain stagnant. And people who are stagnant get left behind. They can't scale because you just remain
Mm.
dormant in that particular, position where you've been for the past 2, 3, 4 years. All right. So everything you guys have said put together drives home the fact that number one, you first of all need to understand whether it is time. And understanding whether it's time requires you, to also check the data, check the progress with which you have come so far, analyze from the inside out, the things that would, automatically give you the green light and say, yeah, hey man, it's time to take it up a notch. And if all these things put together do not really add on to say, hey, whether this is the right time or this is not, then you have to rethink, basically. So moving on in the conversation. So now, let me paint this scenario. Whether it's realizing a 3 to 5 year vision or something longer than that, success in our business or career is often as a result of cumulative effects of small regular actions. All right. And I like to refer this to as planting seeds. So a seed you plant today may sprout 2 months from now. Okay. 2 years from now or 10 years from now. And it typically takes planting many of them. All right. So when it's farming season, the farmer doesn't just go and just plant 1, 2, 3 seeds and leaves the farm, the field. He has to plant, numerous amounts of seeds, hoping to get a large harvest. I don't know if you guys relate. All right. So, with your business or your career, it involves, planting those seeds of small, ideas and actions that you need to take. And you can also think of this as your 20% time outside your regular job, just like how Clinton was trying to emphasize. The 20% time outside your regular job or your business is very important because as Google once encouraged their employees to explore and experiment with new things. So having that idea of planting seeds is actually very important. So that brings the question, what seeds do I need to plant now? Okay. What seeds do I need to plant now that will help me, scale my business or my career? So let's hear from you, the brand doctor, first.
Okay. So what seeds do you have to plant to plant right now to ensure that on the long run you get profit and you are able to scale your business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so first of all is for you to have a headway in your business, for you to be able to make profit, or for you to be able to build a sustainable business that is easily scalable. So you have to have what's called a roadmap or a business plan. So this business plan will guide you on what to do. Okay, at this stage, do this, at this stage, do that, do that, you get. And you're able to create that plan based on the market structure, the products that you have currently, and your goals moving forward. So once you have that business plan, the next thing now is to understand what is holding you back from moving or from growing. So let's say you run a business currently and you've seen that you're making some form of profits and it's time to scale, but your 9 to 5 is holding you back. You don't have time again, and you've seen a lot of potential in your business. At that situation, at that stage, it is very clear that you should move to your business and focus on it and make sure it grows or you grow with it, right? Because it is not a one step something, it's a two-step something, right? So now, once you've identified what is holding you back, right? So you need to now understand. So for me to become that big person I am conceptualizing in my head, I am envisaging, is not just an overnight something. So I know that the first thing that I need to do is to set a realistic goal. Let me give an instance. So you launch a business now, and let's take this as a seed. So this is your business that you just launched now. You can switch if you want. So um you just launched this business and you just planted it now, right? So uh, the Gen Z vibe in me, or the millennial vibe in me, or that whole drive that I have. We're wanting to say, okay, by next year, next 2 years, I am looking at maybe let's say 30 million valuation, $13 billion valuation, $5 billion valuation. Yes, that's a nice aspiration, but that's not possible. So this is why most founders and most startups get to fail and fold up after the first few months of launching because they don't know how to set up realistic goals, goals that are attainable, goals that can easily be achievable. They start building skyscrapers. Now, this is where English comes into place. There's a difference between a goal and a dream, right? A dream is I want to be able to be valued at $5 billion, or I want to be valued at $100 billion. But my goal is to be able to have an increased 20% customer acquisition rate by November. So what you do at this point is that you start building precepts, you start building steps, monthly steps, yearly steps, weekly steps. Now these steps bring you a step closer to that your dream. But one thing you should know about steps is that if you are climbing steps, most times you might slip and fall. Meaning that on that journey to that dream, it will never be too rosy. And if you're running, let us give an instance. You come home,
Clinton, I think we
who do you
lost you
like to
there.
sing?
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So who is that person that uh, you see in your house and you just become joyous? You just get unraveled with joy. So it's a question.
Well, my mom and my sister, I would
Awesome.
say.
Okay. Okay. So let's say you haven't
No
seen
offense to
your
every other
sister
person,
or
though.
your mom. Okay. So let's say you
Yeah.
haven't seen your mom for like 1 year. Then you're sleeping in your room upstairs, or you're sleeping in at the couch in the parlor. It's a two-story house. Then you wake up and then you hear someone say your mom is upstairs. So you're so joyous. You want to rush and meet her. You have that drive. You are rushing to meet her. Then you climb the step. There is a good probability that you might slip and fall, but you will still want to stand up because you're focused on that vision, that goal to go see your mom upstairs. So this is the same thing
Yeah.
with running a business. If you
Yeah.
if you run a business and you start with a very big dream, a very big idea that seems scalable, that seems like it will solve the whole problems in the world. Once you start, you become unraveled with so much joy, so much drive, so much passion, and you start running that step of entrepreneurship. You will slip and fall, but one thing you should know is that you should not allow that to stop you. You should keep going. Now, the next thing is that you need to realize that growing a business goes way beyond just buying and selling. It goes way beyond serving customers in the form of buying and selling. You need to realize that for you to have customers that stick with you shouldn't just be all about buying and selling. You should be able to impact into them valuable or valuably, is that what like with you need to impact values with them,
Yeah.
right? Which is way beyond buying and selling, right? So they need to know you from a different standpoint. They need to know you as that person that has an awesome customer service person, that person that knows how to treat his customers very well, that person that knows how to react to comments online, knows how to engage, knows how to relate with us on a more familiar standpoint than on a very professional standpoint. You understand? So for you to
I
grow
do.
that kind of business that you see or you envisage that it will be valued at whatever amount or whatever is your dream, you need to first of all understand what growth is for you. Is growth having an increased 30% acquisition rate by November or the couple of months? Set growth targets. right? And this goal targets all you to that dream that you have, right? Then once you've done that, you know that you need to relate with your customers on a different standpoint. It shouldn't just be professionally only, right? You also need to move into other aspects. You relate with them familiarly, get to become friends with your customers, but don't overstep your boundaries because some customers are like dogs. They just want you to come in and then they bite you. Because so
Yeah.
you need to set boundaries as well. Then you also need to realize that getting to that stage, that vision that you envisage, that dream, also requires relationships. So you need to learn how to create right. So you need to learn how
Yeah. Yeah.
to build relationships.
True. Relationships are a very,
Can you hear me?
yeah, relationships are a very big part,
Okay,
especially
so I
when
think
you talk about
we cut
scalability.
a couple of minutes ago, a couple of seconds ago. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Yeah. We can hear you. You left off from the part about relationships. So just kick off from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So like I was saying that you need to learn how to build relationships with people that matter. So I would want to drive this home, Nigeria. So in a country like Nigeria, you need to understand that you need connections. Connections are like the bedrock of scalability, of growth. Even in the UK, in other countries, in Europe, other continents, you need connections, you need relationships for you to be given utmost priority, for them to give you laws that and give and create policies that favor you and even help you out because in running a business you need money and you also need depth to grow. You need depth to grow.
True.
You don't only need this in profits. You need depth to grow, and you need people to help you. So you need relationships. So you need to start learning how to build relationships with people, right? People in government,
Yeah.
people who are influential, the elite group. You need all of these people because these are all patriots. And one thing you should know is that just start, just start, and just be yourself. But while being yourself, have it at the back of your mind that this is what you need to grow. So once you start and you just start doing all of this, it might not make sense at some point, but you understand after a while that okay, wow. So if I had not made this relationship 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't be here right now, or I wouldn't have been able to bypass this procedure. You get so you need relationships, you need that drive, you need that passion, set realistic goals, goals that are achievable, goals that are attainable, right? And lastly, you need to understand your financials, right? So a business is not a charity organization, whereby if you don't understand what is going on, you just keep giving to people. No, a business is not a charity organization, it's a business. And in business, you have to make profits, except you will run out of business, right? So
True.
you need to understand that you need to know your financials. How is money entering into my pockets? How is money leaving my pockets? How, what am I spending on? Am I spending more money on myself or my business is dying? That's for those people that are self-employed, for those that are running organizations. So am I spending money on frivolity? Am I sending people to programs that are not really impacting them, trainings that are not even yielding to the growth of the business? So, and most times people try to overestimate trainings and sessions. There's a lot you can do within yourself if you have a resolution, if you resolute with yourself that I am capable of doing this. There's a lot you can achieve with just that resolution. And people always want to consume trainings, consume content. They don't know how they can utilize what they have already and really work out something for themselves. So, with all this, I think they will have a pretty good business and
Yeah.
career
And
as well.
yeah, awesome, man. One of the points you mentioned, you just took it out from my mouth, and it's about relationships. Now, before we go on, I just want to say that relationships are fundamental to career and business success. And you spoke about networking and growing a community of people. Because, like my father would always say, the best, the best gift you could give anybody is the gift of people, the gift of relationships. Now, relationships are fundamental to career success. You can't do it alone, no matter what the business or career is. You know, giving whether you are near, middle, or even close to your long-term goals. Who are the people that are with you that can help you get there? You may know somebody already and others that you may not even have met yet. But when your head is down in your job or your business, you're putting in the work 100%. Sometimes it's easy to neglect certain relationships, because you're so focused and you're target driven that, the need to expand and network gets pushed to the side, So sometimes we just need to take our heads up, and breathe in some fresh air, take a step back and analyze the people around us, to be conscious about the people around us because it is very important the kind of relationships we keep, mapping them according to the strength of the relationship. So in this case, it's a question where, as a business person or a career person, you need to write your name down, on a blank page, and then draft other people around you on that same paper and see who are the people that would make your relationship solid, that could further expand your business, give it more reach. So my question now for Renoa is, what relationships do I need to build in my business and career? It mustn't be a personal relationship, but then for business interests, what are those kind of relationships I should explore?
Okay. All right. So I would say that basically people have expectations in any relationship, whether it is business, whether it is professional relationships, whether it's friendship, whether it is romantic. There are always expectations. So you just have to communicate and be able to understand what are this person's expectations from this relationship, you know. And as a business, I think that comes in where you're able to not sell products to your customers, because your customers do not want to do not want to get a product from you, rather they want to get solutions from you. So always see yourself as a solution provider in that relationship with your client. Don't see yourself as, oh, I'm just a merchandiser. Basically, you should always sell solutions in your relationship. Then there's the part of customer loyalty. How do you reward customer loyalty? Have you branded your brand? Have you branded yourself or your business as one that the customer can blow your trumpet even if you're not there? So who is speaking for your brand? Who's speaking for your business when you're not in the room? Do you get? So all these are integral when you're building your brand, when you're crafting out your brand storytelling. Your brand story should be very relatable. People should see themselves in your brand. People should see themselves as part of your brand. So, and I know that a lot of people now, there's certain brands that I look up to in the way they've unearthed the power of community to position themselves as at the top of art of a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans, and even globally. For instance, now look at Kai Collective, founded by Fisayo Longe. I knew when she started her business, and I'd been an avid follower of her brand. You, if someone asks me to recommend the top fashion brands, without thinking twice, I'll recommend her because I've been there from the get go. I've seen how she carries her customers, her clients along in the business decision making process when she's drafting out new collections, new ideas. She seeks for feedback. She doesn't just deliver, oh, this is a product and you must buy it. No, she carries you along in the decision making process. So when you now imagine when the product finally launches and you get it, you say, oh, I actually recommended this. Imagine if the feedback you gave concerning a particular product is taken in to consideration and now effected in the final product. You're already sold on that product already. So you have to ensure that your brand storytelling, you have to ensure that your clients always have that room, an open door access for feedback is very important in your business. Then also, I would also like to speak about
True.
visibility. Before any client enters into your sales funnel, before they enter into communications or even a relationship with you, you have to have been visible. If they don't see you, they don't know you. So are you
Mm,
as a brand,
facts.
are you importantly, are you very what's the word? Are you very intentional? Yes, that's the right word. Are you very intentional about visibility for your brand? Do people see you? Do people know you? Do you wear your product? Like now, there's no way I go out without wearing at least one of my products. I always say, "So yes, you like this? I made it." And it has to be an intentional thing. Intentionality. You have to be visible. Let people know you for what you do. Let people know you,
Yeah.
basically. So then, and also another thing that would also foster good relationship is rewards. And now I'm already bringing in marketing, my marketing experience here. Now rewards. How do you reward your loyal customers? How do you reward your loyal customers? How do you ensure that, you know, okay, let me bring a little bit of my public health experience. There's what they call reinforced behavior and reinforcements in psychoanalysis, basically. If you want people to continue doing something, if you want to reinforce a behavior, if you want to effectively allow people change or pivot into a particular behavior, you have to have reinforcements on ground. You have to reward them for every step they make, you reward them. So if a person buys from your brand today, are you rewarding them? It could just be 2% discount. It could just be a 2% what's the word? A 2% on your next purchase. All these things, little things we think that is small, is negligible, but they help you to they help you position your brand in that, they help you position your brand top of heart in your client's mindset, and which is a good one. I would say that for any business that wants to scale, you have to be intentional about this. You have to be intentional and not just think about, oh, I want to make money quick, but be intentional about creating rewards system, reward schedules for your clients. Then another thing to foster relationships with brand or with your business is that you have to sit down to curate a customized client experience. And I tell my brand strategy clients basically that if you want to build a brand, you have to sit down and say, okay, these
Mm,
brands that I do repeat purchases from, what is that thing? Have they made me feel special? Why am I always going back to them? So you see that what you want other people, all these luxury brands that people always go there for their client experience, can you implement that in your business? Can you see them from the get go, from the first contact? How do you make your client feel? How do you make them feel special? Do you make them feel elated? And you have to present yourself. You have to make people see themselves for the the future they envision, the them that they want to be. You have to already you have to already like make them see themselves that way. So it's like, I could say it's prophetic in business, prophecy in business. That's more like making them see where they should be, and you're pivoting them. You're already, what's the word?
Like
You
showing them this
explain it to
the
me.
solution already,
yeah.
telling them
Game
how
plan.
like
Exactly.
that
So you're
solution
already
already.
exactly. So their mind's already prepared that anything I'm getting from this person is top notch. I'm already seeing myself this way. If I want to get to the next level, I have to be with this person. Say they say as association also determines how you see yourself. So if they can associate your brand with their future, or the future them, they would want to, of course, patronize you. Then another thing I would say is, I think the brand also already he scaled through it, or he just went over it. But then I would like to give a better, an in-depth of what he was saying. So another thing is, in your relationships, yeah, always set realistic goals. Now they're called SMART goals. They should be specific, they should be measurable, they should be achievable, they should be realistic and time bound. So if you want to scale your business, and this was something I do for a client and for even my personal, let's say, different areas of my life. Like every quarter, every year, I sit down and say, okay, in this quarter, this one I want to do specific. Is it in regards to working out? Now, okay, say Brenna wants to work out for 30 days in this month. Now, measurable. How do I measure if I've done it? Is it going to be every Saturdays I go, every Mondays, every Tuesdays, and everything? That's how I measure.
Mm.
So I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
my calendar there. Okay, well, every Mondays for all the Mondays in this month. Ta ta
yeah.
ta ta. You went. Now, when you say you want it to be achievable, what are the steps? Is it possible? If you're someone that works 9 to 5, you are going from Ojodu to Lekki 5 days
Yeah,
a week. How do you want to go to the gym? Of course, that's not achievable.
yeah.
So you now sit down, okay, that's of course not achievable. The highest you can do is maybe 15 minutes of your working out is in your room before you step out of the door. So that's how it's achievable for you. But to be going to the gym every day for 30 days, of course, is not achievable. So you're able to set that in line, sit down, and don't say because this work for one brand, it has to work for me. Nah. As you're creating or curating customized experiences for your clients, also curate processes or goals for your business that is applicable to your business.
Mm, true.
Now,
So
that also
yeah, yeah. Go on, go on.
okay, that also is in conjunction with being realistic as well. Of course, if you know you can't make it, then time bound. So most people say, okay, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to get 1 million naira. I'm going to have 1 million naira in my account.
New Year
But
resolution.
then yes, but then have you broken it down? Like if the brand doctor was saying, have you broken it down? If you want to get 1 million naira, like there's something I used to do then when I was solely an entrepreneur. What I used to do that if I want to afford something, I want to get this thing for myself. I ask myself, Renwa, how many pairs of footwear do you have to sell before you can afford this? Do you get? So you have to break that down. If you want to make 1 million naira in a year in revenue, how many things do you have to do? How many footwear? Let me use my business. How many footwear pairs of footwear do you have to sell in 1 month? Do you get? And like that, like that, like that, like that, you're already on a pathway. There's a roadmap, there's a business plan already that you already know that no matter what, even if I don't read that 1 million, you are getting there. So, and another thing with goals is that when you measure, you put all these processes and what they call it, monitoring and evaluation in place for you to know that you're on that line. The next
Mm.
month, you cannot raise the banner because if you've sold 100 pairs of footwear this month, of course, you have done a lot. People already, your brand is already registered in that brain. They're already referring to you. So you cannot now say it's 100 pairs of footwear you want to do next month. You have to increase it, you top it up. Do you get? So it's not by just saying, don't be stagnant. Be very, very, what's the word now? Give me the word, please.
Yeah, like have a broad, vision of the
Yes,
things you
don't
want to
yes,
achieve.
and
Yeah,
always be ready to what's the word? To be flexible. Don't in business, you have to be able to pivot, you
there's
have to
no
be able to
rigid life.
change everything. There's no rigid life. If your customer wants this, you give it to them. Don't say that this is the only thing. Of course, there has to be boundaries, but then you always have to listen to the customer. So
Yeah,
I still have some things to go, but I don't want to. Should we
yeah.
end it here?
So you know what? Feel free to add on, and then just take on like an extra 1 minute on that, and then we'll move on to the next question. Yeah,
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right. Then the brand doctor already said this, but then your network influences a lot. There are a lot of deals. There are a lot of like now, there was the recent news yesterday that said that they want to ban all bikes in Nigeria. The FG made that announcement. But then you have brands already that are having, they have motorcycles, they are making new
exactly.
bikes, they are selling
Yeah,
bikes. So it's a livelihood for some people. But then
true.
if you have sat down with the people that are policymakers, they have you before they sign all these things, they would have you in your mind. You're already influencing them one way, so you should have be intentional about leveraging on your network. Be always at top of heart. If it's just message them and send them, oh hello, so and so, be intentional. I'm not saying that should be someone that does ojuaye, like Yoruba people will say it. Do you
Yeah.
get? You're not. I'm not saying that it should
Yeah.
be. I don't want to use the word, but then you should always be visible to your network. Send that message. Say happy birthday, so so and so. This is the new stuff we're doing. This is what we're working on. Be at top of that. Always go for their events. Invite them for events as well, so that way they know that you don't just see them as a client, but you see them as part of you, part of your brand, part of your what's this called, part of your life circle basically. Then
True.
another thing is for you to also scale, you also have to invest in your skills like you mentioned earlier, and your brand
Mm.
assets. If you're having
Yeah.
1,000 orders in a day, and you still want to do in Instagram, hello, I want to place an order for so and so, you're not ready to scale. You build,
Mm.
invest in your brand asset, leverage on technology, because we are moving. If your brand wants to be scalable, it wants to be to get all that there is for you to take, you should be ready to invest in your skills, invest in your brand assets. That's something that you should do. And when people can see that, okay, you have all the ready made, or you have a very unique customer experience, you have all the things that they need to get the best from you, they will of course recommend you. They'll be proud to recommend you as a brand
True.
as well. So I think that that's good. Then
Yeah.
the final thing I would say is that always outsource.
Yeah.
Don't carry everything. I know that a lot of people glorify the entrepreneurship lifestyle by,
Yeah. Of
okay,
always
I'm
trying to
my graphic
micromanage.
designer. Exactly. I'm my
Yeah.
graphic designer, I'm my brand marketer, I'm the creative director, I'm the accountant, I'm the brand doctor or the brand strategist, or I'm the communication specialist, or I'm
Yeah.
the lawyer. You now carry everything. All the arts you're not supposed to wear, you put it here. And that is one of the things I was saying, that if your business cannot survive on its own or without you being there, you're not ready to scale. So for you to build a scalable business, for you to be able to leverage on relationships, for you to be able to foster good relationships, you should be ready to outsource all of this. If it's a customer success engagement officer or customer service personnel you need to get your business to be able to leverage on these relationships, then get them in line. So thank you so much. These are the
Yeah.
few points of mine.
Yeah, I just want to say this. If you're, for instance, one question I ask myself a lot as a business person is, where am I over invested in? Where am I under invested in? Now, before we go into this, just this next part, if you have a question you're watching, please leave it in the comment section. I will just get to address all the questions before we call it a day. But back to what I said, guys, can you spot out as a business person, as a career person, the areas where you are overly invested in and the areas where you are under invested in are very important, especially when you talk about scalability, because you need to understand, where am I putting my energy in more, and where am I not putting my focus in, that needs attention, that requires attention for my business to upscale. All right. Now, a quick scenario. If you're an engineer in the technology sector and your network is mostly other engineers, but you want to, move and transition to education, what do you need to meet or re-engage people in the education space that can be your potential clientele? All right. Or for instance, you're in accounting, you're a mid-level accountant, but then you're looking to be a CFO of a business. Now, what are those, or who are those kind of, what are those areas that I need to invest my time in or my resources in for me to diversify into another network, into another system? So as a business person, how can I tell if I am overinvested in a certain area and when I'm underinvested in another area? Can I just get your thoughts, the brand doctor?
Okay. So it's very simple. If you're running a business and you feel you are the big question to this is, are you making profits? It is very simple. So that if you're very invested into a particular side of your business, and you're trying to ask yourself that question: am I so invested in this? You need to ask yourself, is it giving you profit? For example, if you're in the creative space and you are so perfect, you're so bothered about perfection, right? And you're trying to, people are saying, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect and all whatnot. Block all of that. Ask yourself this key question: do my customers come back to me because I am very bothered about perfection? Do they come to me to and also tell me that okay, they love my work, the key details we have fixed, all those things? So you need to ask yourself, what I am invested in currently, is it giving me profit? If it's giving you profit, then stick to it. But also there's a twist to it. Most founders are more invested into processes, how their business runs, how operations work, that they forget the visionary side of you. They forget that as a founder, that their main goal is to be the person with the vision, the head of the brand, the person that is meant to be a pioneer for this, right? So they get so invested into processes, and even though they are making profit, but that business is not very sustainable. So what you need to do is to get who can handle processes, who can who has an eye for details. But to answer your question, if you're currently invested into something, if you're hearing and then you're currently invested into something right now, and it is giving you the money, the profits that you desire, that you want, stick to it. Now, except if, uh, except if you feel that you are having profit, but following this line will make you to run out of business. Like you need to go back towards the visionary point of view or standpoint to be able to navigate the growth of the business. So you might have to look for somebody else to handle that aspect. So it's simple. If it's giving you profit, if you're making profit now, not revenue now, profit, if you're making profit out of it, then stick to what you're invested into. But if you're not, then I'm so sorry. You need to figure out what's wrong with your business and get invested into something else. It's either you get invested into marketing, get to know how your marketing is doing well. Are you marketing the right people? Are you retaining customers? Or you're looking to sell. Do you have the right sales offer? Is your sales funnel okay? Do you intertwitch the two levels, right? The onboarding session with the deliverables. Do you have a nice offer you get? Or you move into customer experience. Now, what's the feedback that you get from your customers? Are they saying that my people don't know how to treat them well? Okay, do I have to now call them back and then beg them and thank them and even give them loyalty coupons? You get. So you need to find out what aspect of your business currently is suffering, and then you get invested into
Yeah,
that aspect. But make sure that that aspect contributes wholly or to
to the
make sure
entirety
that
of the
that's
business.
yeah,
Yeah,
and to making profits. You get, make sure that that
yeah,
aspect that you want
important.
to concentrate on right now can give you profits. You get, because if it
Yeah,
can, then why not focus on it? But I
yeah,
still say that most times, many a time, people are so overwhelmed with processes, with theory, with learning, that they don't get to leverage on what they have already and milk out of it and be able to build something admirable, something innovative. So most times, if it has a person, you're so concerned about learning and getting new things, that is nice, but be more interested in taking action, taking massive action from what you've been able to amass over the past few months, past few years, the past few weeks, the past few days, and so on and so forth.
yeah. Awesome, awesome. Lovely contributions from the both of you. Now, let's just head over to answer just one question before we call it a day. Now, somebody's asking, a frequently asked question that we got just before the conference. And the question is, I happen to sell jewelries to a very small number of people. Now, I do not own a store. I do not own an online platform where I sell my products. I do not own a physical store, but I want more reach. I want to expand my network to sell jewelries all over my community. Is it possible to scale such a small business? My question now to both of you, is there anything as such a small business? Because I think it's in the mind of the person, the entrepreneur. But look into the question from your own point of view. This person has a jewelry store that is servicing a number of people and she's looking to scale. And I think maybe in her words, she's saying, hey, I want to sell maybe from 50 pieces a day to maybe 500 pieces a day. How can such a business get to scale? Is it going to take her, in trying to get some advertising money in there, or is she going to, get some discount offers, or is she going to reach out to more people who have bought before to refer her? How do we address this question before we move on?
Okay, to
So,
me.
go, Renoa, just give me your take. Did you get that? Can you hear me,
My
Renoa?
mic was muted. Yes.
All right.
So I said that what you were saying, well, you're asking if a jewelry business is small, is too small to scale.
Yeah, she has
That
a
that's the
jewelry
question.
business that doesn't have an online store or a physical store. I think what she's trying to say is she's selling from the comfort of her living room. Let's put it that way.
And how has that worked for her? Is she making money?
She's currently selling 50 pieces in a week,
50
and
pieces
she
in a
wants to
week.
sell more. She wants to do more.
Okay, so
Now, the
another thing is not only
scalability.
about is okay. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt, but it's
so
not
just to add,
about selling.
yeah,
Okay,
scalability in this sense now, for someone who's doing 50 a week, she's looking for
yeah,
how she can start selling 500 a day, 500
500
a
a
week,
day.
a week.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So as she's selling 50 pieces in a day, is she making profit? That's the
she
first
is.
question.
I think she is.
She's making
I
profit.
hope so.
Was okay. Was turnover value?
Yeah. So those are things she needs to consider because I really
That
don't
yeah, she
know.
needs to consider
Yeah.
that. Then how does
Okay.
she? What's her customer acquisition model? And how long has she been doing it for? So she has to sit down and ask, how do I get my customers? Do you get? So if our business model has to do with going to people's houses to sell, how realistic is that um in a long term? Then also why is she not open to putting the business online?
Hmm. So those are
Do
things
you
you
get?
must consider. Yeah.
You should also consider
Yeah.
then another thing is how does she get her jewelry? So
Hmm.
if she wants to scale, another question, I think 50 pieces, it depends on what type of jewelry again. What's your product details? Is it luxury jewelry? Is it one that one jewelry is 1 million naira? Or is one jewelry is 5,000 naira? So all these things have to be put into consideration and all that.
Yeah.
Then so base I can't necessarily say this is the way to go if I don't have all these details and everything.
Yeah.
But
So
the simple thing, looking from the outside in, I don't know all the details, but if you're making 50 sales a day, a week, that's 10 sales per day,
hmm.
Abby. If you work
Yeah.
Monday to Friday. So I'll say that there's opportunity to scale. There's opportunity to scale, but all these details need to be provided.
Hmm.
But setting up an online store it doesn't cost you anything. Just
Hmm.
that you can reach other people and all that, but also what's a customer acquisition model? What type of products is she putting out there? Do you
Hmm.
get? So all these things need to be answered. Except the
Great.
brand doctor has anything to say regarding
Clinton, any
this.
final thoughts on this question?
Okay. So I make I sell 50 jewelries a week, right? And I'm looking at selling an extra 500 a week. So this is the goal of almost every business owner. They want to know that let me use that word low. Well, let me just say something. So this kind of dream, this kind of goal is very, very possible. But before you even look into marketing and mode of marketing, those are just secondary. The primary thing is yourself, right? Your mindset. Most times you have a mindset of selling 50. Let's say you see 50 jewelries has profits right now, and you want to be able to make sell and increase 500. You get.
Mm.
You need to ask yourself the first question. You go to the mirror and ask yourself, do I see myself selling 500 in 1 week? Was able to convince yourself and tell yourself that you are capable of this? You need to look into the next step. And that next step is to your branding. Because for you to be able to sell 500 jewelry in 1 week, you need to have customers that trust you, customers that know you, customers that have worked with you, customers that are able to keep coming back to you, keep referring to you, keep referring people to you, right? So you need to ask yourself that question. Am I branding or have I branded myself to the position of selling 500 pieces in 1 week? How do you relate with customers? And you know that one big way of one best way of growing your business is through referrals. Forget
Mm.
art and or whatnot. No, the biggest ways of profit is referrals. I work with you, I see you, you are good. Guess what? I'll tell my friend about you.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Exactly. And
The
what
experience, they
she
get
needs
to
to
share the
do
experience they've
right
had
now,
with
yes,
fellas.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what she needs to do right now is to look beyond growing customers and having customers to having evangelical customers.
Mm.
Customers that can go out there and spread the word about her, talk about her to people. And how will she do that? She needs to brand herself towards that perception, towards people, towards what people will like. You understand? So
I
she
do.
needs to look into the industry right now. Okay, people who sell up to this number of this quantity of jewelry in 1 week. How do they do it? How is their brand? What kind of
Mm.
collaborations do they have? Right? So once she is like literally spying on them. So she
Yeah.
gets this, but doesn't now once she has done this research, it is now like a vacuum or now like a shelf. So what she needs to do, she doesn't need to now build her business inside that shelf. That is just like a medium. She now needs to leverage on that data to build her own business. Because what works for them will not work for you. But you
Yeah.
need that data to figure out what will work for you.
Yeah.
Then you need to first figure out your mindset. Do I see myself selling 500 pieces of jewelry in 1 month or in 1 week? Is that what I envisage? If that is what you envisage, good. Now move to the next stage. How is my brand? Am I still doing how is my Instagram page? How are my product shoots? Because for you to sell the amount of number, you won't play mediocre anymore. You have to go all out. And once you're out there, you need to bear in mind that your integrity is at stake, your name is at stake, everything is at stake. So you need to deliver exceptionally. Be very innovative about it. And coming down to what she should do right now is first of all, reshape her mindset to figure out if this is what she can do, right? If she can do it, now she needs to talk to herself about it. Talk to herself in the mirror about it. Tell herself, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Right? Once that is done, now run your research on other brands, your competitors. The first thing you need to do is ask your customers, what feeling do you get from using me? Let us dig deep towards the issue of me not having
Yeah.
500 uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Same thing Renoir said.
500
Yeah.
transactions in 1 week. Ask your
Yeah.
customers when you work with me, and by just asking them, you now create a relationship. They feel, oh wow, you value me to ask me this question. Awesome. Let us talk. You get once she has done that, the next thing she needs to do is now to brand herself to someone that can sell 500 pieces a week. The branding you give to yourself to sell 50 pieces in 1 week is not that same kind of value you give to yourself to sell 500 in 1 week. The marketing budget
Mm,
you use to sell 50 pieces in 1 week it's not that same marketing budget that you will use to sell 500 in 1 week. And you just need to scale. And scaling is possible. But she needs to ask herself this question: who am I selling to? Who are my customers?
sure.
Do you understand? Let me get to know my customers psychologically. How do they react? How do they talk? What are their interests? And once she has this data, she's good to go. She now needs to take massive action. Remember, like I said before, don't bury yourself deep into research. It will swallow you. Instead, do a bit of research and launch. Take massive action as you run a business. Keep making uh, keep taking massive action as you run a business.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much.
it's
Um,
very possible.
Yeah. Thank you so much, the Brown Doctor and Renoa. Now, let's just give our final thoughts before we call it a day for this session. Now, I want to go first by saying, just to capture everything we've all said today. The drive, my drive home point today is we often underestimate the impact that small, consistent steps can have over time on our careers and businesses. All right. The fact that many people don't want to commit to something that you're currently offering right now doesn't, impede on the idea. It doesn't take it away. In fact, it gives you competitive advantage because if you're willing to do the work without any affirmation, without anybody saying, hey, 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 well done, and you're willing to do it even without it looking as though it will guarantee success. It will actually enhance the likelihood because you put yourself in a much smaller category of people that are competing against you. And the effort you put in over time compounds over the years. And just before you know it, you start to see those results. So, starting small is a very big drive home point for today. You must never underestimate that fact. I know we just ended by answering that question saying, now you're selling 50 pieces of jewelry, you're looking to do 500. By the time you start hitting 500, you'll be looking to do 5,000. So it all starts small.
That's
There's
true.
no rush in the business or career space. Everybody started with from little to how big they are. You're called a tech giant today. You didn't start as a tech giant, you started from a small, humble beginning. So please, let's never underestimate that. I know things are now in reverse in today's world. People do not want to, go up and start, little by little. They just want to hit it and get the ground running quick. Yeah, it happens, but then at the same time, it crashes faster. We've heard about businesses that just propelled in so much acceleration, and in under 3 years, they go down crashing. So we must consider the fact that whatever strategy we're trying to implement in our business, whatever skills we have, whether they're knowledge skills or growth skills, we all know that at the same time, it all put together would give you what you need or require to scale that career or business. So, the brand doctor, let me hear your thoughts, your final conclusion for all the people watching today.
Okay. So final thoughts as regards to building a successful and scalable and profitable as well career and business in the current economy in the current Nigeria. So I will first say it's highly possible, and I believe in if you can see it, you can be that. If whatever you can see is achievable, right? So as far as your eyes can see, that's what's achievable. All you have to do is be ready to take that step, but it all starts with a step. And it doesn't just end with a step, it continues with persistence, with patience, with empathy. It continues, but it's not, there is no one size fits all to all the businesses, right? So you just
Exactly.
need to actually
Find
stay
what
true.
works. Yeah.
Yes, stay true, but you cannot know what works without staying still and staying true. So you have to stay, just have a mindset of I will not leave until I figure out what works for me. Most times people want to do a lot of things together. They will do this after 2 months, 3 months, it doesn't work, they will dump it, go to the other one, 4 months, it doesn't work, they drop. They just keep doing all of this. Now, yes, most times you might need to do that so you can now figure out what works for you and all of them. But then you need to understand that timing is necessary. in
Mm.
building a resilient business. Timing, right? Timing and persistence. But you also need to know, make sure that you know what you are doing, right? So let's say
Yeah.
you want to move into this real estate. So you're seeing the whole vibe and noise around real estate. You want to now push yourself into it, and you want to now go into it. You're like you're dumbfounded. You're like, what is going on here? What do I do? You get you have already printed cards. Real estate consultant. You get that vibe, that drive is good, and it's necessary to be able to grow, right? That vibe is good, but you need to be able to stick through, make sure that what you're doing works, right? And you can't know that unless you stay true to it. You're persistent, you're consistent, and most importantly, be open to learn a lot of things because you are given free will so you can be able to learn because what worked last 2 years isn't what is working currently. We are having
Yeah.
a live session now. If it was last 5 years or last 7 years, this won't be our first results. You get, but things are changing. So you just need to change as a business, grow as a business.
Yeah.
I have to leave my initial location, come out to different states altogether. I had to move out because I knew that that state I was in won't allow me to grow, right? That country I was in wouldn't allow me to grow, so I had to move out. You get, and when I was moving out, I didn't see any way, anything that was going to work. I just moved with just pure gut feeling,
You
thinking that
move like Abraham.
something was going to, right? Yeah, yeah. So, but so far so good. If I hadn't taken that step that time, I don't know what would be my life right now. But you just need to know somehow you just know what is going to work out for you. You just need to stay true to it. If you try to look at the background of most successful business owners and entrepreneurs and just successful people, you will see that there's a track record. At some point, they knew something was going to work and they stick through with it. They just stay. Even when things were tough, things didn't work out well, they just stay through with it. And that should
Mm.
be what everyone should have. That picture of resistance. Even though nowadays on social media, everyone just wants to hit it hard now. They want to blow. They want to be the next victim. That's a nice feeling. That is good, right? Just you can still have that passion. Great, but just learn to be persistent even when things are not working well. And
Yeah.
you will know that only out of true resistance and patience are the best things born. The
Mm.
best fruits, the best things only came out of pure persistence, pure, pure patience. You won't be born right now if when your mom was in labor, when she had you, she didn't stay true with the whole pain, the whole patience to be able to push you out. You get so as an entrepreneur, you also need to bear that pain, that patience to push out that next victim, that next African is in business, that African
Now
what's the word
unicorn.
now? Unicorn, exactly. So you can't do that unless you stick true through pain, through patience, through resilience. But just have one thing in mind: it will all work out well for you, definitely.
Thank you so much. So the brand doctor leaves us with the words resilience, consistency, and sticking true. So, Noah, what are your final thoughts on this stage today?
Okay. So I would say that as an entrepreneur that wants to build a scalable business, you have to be ready to learn and unlearn.
True.
Your business processes, your business model should not be set in stone. You know, flexibility is an asset for any business that wants to grow, and
Yeah.
you have to be consistent through it all. You have to be consistent. It's like one drop of water that keeps on
Mm.
growing, like expanding and everything. You know, when I think about scaling up a business, I remember this bamboo, the way a
Yeah, the
bamboo
bamboo
grows.
plants.
So
Yeah. And how
bamboo,
long it
yeah,
takes
the
for it to
bamboo
grow.
plant doesn't grow in 5 years. You must have planted it, oh, but it wouldn't grow in 5 years up until like 15
30.
years.
You even
You
get
just see
tired
it.
at the
Pew!
point.
Exactly, it has
Yeah,
grown. So you should just have that mindset. Prepare yourself that okay, what I'm doing now, it's not something that I might reap now. It's a perennial product. It's something that
it's a
once
seed
it
you're
grows,
planting.
I can
Yeah,
always pluck from it, like
yeah,
conveniently in recent years, in
yeah.
in in the next years. And I would like to transpolate this to also scalable careers. That if you want your career to be scalable, you should also view your career as something that you keep on watering. So,
Mm,
and when I say scalable career, remember the definition I gave for it for a scalable career is one that your reward or what you're getting out of that career is not tied to your inputs, is not tied to your time. So basically your hours of work is not what is getting you money. So
mm,
you're receiving an exponential result or profit
yeah,
from your career that is not directly proportional to the hours you put in. So
mm,
for this type of career, it's not something that you get it in one day or in 1 year. But what I would
mm,
say is that you should start something. It
mm.
could be just keeping a journal, but I keep writing 1 page per day, 1 page per day. In the next 5 years, you might get a
It's
book
going
out
to
of it, publish it on
true.
Amazon, and that gives you income for life. And it's not God blesses it, and you know that it's something that if you have 5 years to write a book, trust me, you're writing a masterpiece piece, you're writing a bestseller. If that just blows up, you're getting money for life. So
Yeah,
all these little things, don't be in a hurry to just rush, but sit down and do the work. Take one step at a time. So that's what I
yeah,
would say for scalable careers. And I also realize that for career minded people, there's always that fear associated with stepping out or leaving the security of, oh, this is what I know. You put yourself in a box, but whereas over the years you've actually unearthed certain skills that can be transferred across different spheres. Do you get? So don't be afraid to step out, do your research very well, and do not let fear hinder you in building your scalable career. So, and in conclusion, you should also importantly get your finances in order if you want to build a scalable business, a scalable career. Because if your finances are in order, you'll not be afraid to take that risk. And risk is also something that's important whether you want to build a scalable career or a scalable business. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm really glad and honored to have all of you here today. So thank you guys. And just before we go, I just want to close by saying, at the end of the day, what is most important is that you take everything that's been said today, put it into learning in your daily life, in your business life, and I bet you're going to see significant improvement in everything you do. Now, all the things we've shared, we're still learning. Like Renoa said, we're learning, we're relearning, and we're unlearning. So it's a lifelong learning process, and we continue to evolve as the times change. So if you're out there and you have a business and you're hoping to expand, please go for it. Make sure everything is set in motion. Analyze yourself first from the inside out. If you have a career, continue to water that career. It involves you learning how to build your knowledge skills, those hard skills that are specific to that industry, and then build your growth skills as well, so that people always find you valuable. Like I said before, it could lay off 100 people, but there's that one person you might not be able to let go of in the company. So be that one person, be that one guy that everybody wants around. And until next time, thank you guys for coming on to the Lifeline conference, or
Thank you
Noah and
for having me.
yeah,
Thanks
big
for
love
having
from all
us.
of us at the Lifeline Conference. A standing ovation, and we can't wait to have you guys back. So until next time, stay blessed. See you tomorrow for day 2, and wish you guys a wonderful rest. Thank you.